The world is witnessing a new wave of tension as the European Union, EU, reimposed sanctions on Iran, marking a significant escalation in the geopolitical conflict between Tehran and Western powers. This move comes just days after the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, enforced snapback sanctions, a tactic designed to pressure Iran for its failure to uphold its commitments under the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. But here's where it gets controversial. The EU's decision to target Iran's financial infrastructure and energy sector raises questions about the long-term consequences for both the region and global trade. The EU's latest measures include freezing assets at the Iranian central bank and other major institutions, banning the import of Iranian oil, and restricting exports of materials critical to uranium enrichment. These actions are aimed at isolating Iran economically, but the full impact remains unclear. The EU was once Iran's fifth-largest trading partner in 2024, and this move could further shrink bilateral commerce. However, the U.S. has already significantly reduced EU-Iran trade since 2018, suggesting that the EU's sanctions may not be as transformative as intended. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, has framed these sanctions as a form of psychological warfare, urging the regime to strengthen ties with neighboring countries and pursue a look-east policy to counter Western pressure. This strategy involves deepening relationships with China and Russia, as well as joining multilateral groups like BRICS. While Iran claims these steps will reduce its dependence on the US dollar, critics argue that such efforts may only delay, not resolve the crisis. For instance, Iran's participation in BRICS, joined in January 2024, has been criticized as a tactical move rather than a genuine shift in economic priorities. Meanwhile, the situation in Syria is heating up. Reports indicate that Turkey is deploying military assets to Kuwai's airbase near SDF-controlled territory, signaling potential joint operations against the Kurdish group. This move comes amid ongoing tensions between Turkey and the Syrian government, which has sought to prevent Turkey from escalating hostilities. The deployment of armored vehicles and helicopters could enable rapid advances into SDF-held areas, raising concerns about regional stability. Yet the real stakes may lie in the broader implications for Lebanon, where Iran's influence is being tested as the country attempts to disarm Hezbollah. In Lebanon, Iran's Supreme National Security Council Secretary, Ali Larijani, has visited Beirut multiple times to reinforce ties with Hezbollah and local leaders. His recent visit included meetings with Hezbollah allies, but his promises of support have been met with skepticism. Despite claims of funding reconstruction, Iran's $50 million aid pales in comparison to the $11 billion needed for Lebanon's recovery. This highlights a fundamental contradiction. While Iran seeks to bolster its regional presence, its financial commitments may not be sufficient to address the scale of the crisis. Back in Iraq, the Shia coordination framework is locked in a power struggle over the next prime minister. The coalition, which includes parties backed by Iran, is divided between factions advocating for prominent leaders like Nouri al-Maliki and others favoring a more moderate approach. This debate reflects broader anxieties about the upcoming November 2025 elections, where the outcome could determine the future of Iraq's political landscape. The challenge lies in balancing internal dynamics with the need for stability in a region already fraught with conflict. As these events unfold, one thing is clear: the Middle East is on the brink of a new chapter, shaped by shifting alliances, economic pressures, and the relentless pursuit of power. What will be the long-term consequences of these decisions? Will Iran's look-east strategy succeed, or will the West's sanctions ultimately isolate Tehran further? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is certain: the world is watching closely.